course, with the outlier. If he can keep it up into map 3, that might be a top 4 at bare minimum for Heroic. Odds sit in their favor in the final map of this series, but ENCE are happy to play against them.
T-side start lets Heroic really decide how they want to set the pace, set the tone for this third map. maden's going to get flashed in a ramp here. He wants to be involved early. Oh, but a missed opportunity. A big missed opportunity over towards connector. The bomb gets away. So maybe NERDZ can hold on. Maybe NERDZ can be that buffer stop between Heroic and this A play. Not to be, as cadiaN gets rid of him. Pistol round off to a rip-roaring start, but a couple of missed shots for Sumpire. See him in a weird way. Snappi will take matters into his own hands. The bomb finds a path all the way into B, thanks to Tesses. And so Heroic are still very much in the round here, the favorites in it. As ENCE left high and dry, no one left on that B side of the map as they all shuffled around to try control that split out onto A. And Snappi having to do it all himself is not the winning way here for ENCE. It's Heroic to step up to the mark, and now they're off to the races with a pistol under their belt, their first in the series.
Great mid-rounding for Heroic to just be rooting B the whole time, despite getting that A pick off of maden's flash push and taking a lot of space out of Palace. Yabi somehow survives that spray of the pistol into Sandwich, but even as the bomb was spotted in connector, forcing ENCE out of the B bomb site, Heroic just waltz in and get that bomb plant. Force up. Scout MP9 and a good boost to get NERDZ in the right place at the right time. Heroic are coming up all into middle. Yabi in the catwalk trying to clear this corner. He does check it out. The Scout can't really offer too much assistance. And Yabi, did he think he bailed? He tries to go hunting up the ladder. It's an awkward one. Meanwhile, Heroic still take A, and that smoke for maden loses any vision, any denial of this bomb plant. Can play the one way, but Heroic, this should be theirs, all tied up.
That kill really should look to confirm it. Drive-by from NERDZ, and maden slug out
He's
through
out.
CT. Sjuush back turned, and now it's just Tesses. This has gone so awry, so quickly. Heroic can't hold on, and it's NERDZ with drive-by after drive-by on the MP9, and maden hitting some crazy timings that make this force buy happen. Heroic get their first pistol, and for what? As ENCE immediately come up with the response here.
And that's the opposite of how this series has been going, right? It's been ENCE with pistol rounds, Heroic taking ecos off force buys and winning them out. They did it on CT side nuke, they did it on CT side overpass. Now ENCE come through with an unbelievable round, and NERDZ lets them know Maui wanted more out of this man in the third map, and how is that for a beginning? The jumping MP9 kill. Heroic not out of the woods yet. Force up, of course, and cadiaN with no remorse.
That is a beautiful nade. Already tagging up the B play. Snappi involved and thriving as he shuts down their attempt to get out through the apartments. This round was started by the captain of Heroic, and it will be ended by the captain of ENCE. Snappi sends cadiaN packing, and even then he's dispatched his boys to hunt down this last man. cadiaN suspects. But NERDZ has heard this. He knows the slowdowns happened. He knows that cadiaN was moving away. And so even something as simple as staying alive, getting out of the round with a gun is far from guaranteed. Blinder of a shot from cadiaN to keep this AK in play. But that should be all this round is for Heroic. Everyone else just sat back in their chairs as they watch their captain fight for his life at the end of the round.
Mirage is just such a banging map for a third map of this status. With the relative little on the line, and I say that in terms of not being eliminated and the brawliness that this game has given us as a result. No better map than Mirage for some focused fragging, some quick mid takes. We'll see how ENCE match that, as this will be all that cadiaN carries into the next round. Nothing behind it here for Heroic. Force would be optimistic at best.
I mean, Heroic are going to force around this again. They don't feel pretty comfortable doing this. It's well within their wheelhouse. Their second time having a buy like this in the series, where the hero gun doesn't work out, so they just recommit to it for a second time. See if they're able to show us why. cadiaN right now with that AK is all the way in top middle. He's also got the bulk of the util in this round, so he kind of needs to try and tee his teammates up as they come out through lower. This re-smoke at ramp might feel good for ENCE, but Heroic, they were accounting for this. They make that presence known over towards ramp early, trying to get this util out of the way. And they've managed that now.
Waiting out the con util before this ramp side gets engaged. cadiaN can flash them into connector. It goes into the window instead. On the jump, they heard the wood. They know he's here. Yabby still hits the blinder. It's up to Nerds, baiting them in for maden, back in the sandwich, trying to take a bite out of this attack, and he's already stifled the first. CTs are coming in for reinforcements, and they are hitting their shots. It's a good lurk for Yabby in this round, finding a couple of kills off of it, but the bomb is dropped back on the ramp side, and maden is remaining in control. 20 seconds. Heroic have to break through. maden whiffs his shot, gives it away, comes back down, but they've hunted him, and Nerds now has to keep this strong start to the map going with a 1v2 clutch. They've got him cornered. He tries to swing for the fences, but he's out of ammo. Yabby finishing what he started, looking for the third kill, and he's got it through the box.
So reassuring to see Yabby looking like this. You know, we touched upon it already as we opened up this series, but back at Cologne last year, that was one of the first looks you had with Yabby in this squad. It was a poor tournament from him, and he went on to look so much stronger past that point. This is a Heroic with the fifth man that they didn't have back at that last Cologne. Well and truly in the swing of things, it's him and cadiaN to get that round over the line. And so ENCE, they waste no time calling in this pause. Heroic went with the risky move of recommitting to that hero AK force buy. After cadiaN saved it out of the last round, they all invested around it. They double dip on the force buy round.
Hey,
not many teams would make that decision, but Heroic are one of the squads that don't mind to.
Optimism pays off. And so this battle will not end until a couple of concurrent rounds come back through. Again, they set Nerds up. He dangerously crosses back. They don't spot him, so they're not aware of the heavy contact on ladder. Pius can bait for his teammate in that position, or swap out entirely. That's a beautiful shot. Yabby getting activated in map 3 of this series. No time like it. And cadiaN giving util to set them up. What could be this cat take here. This double setup ENCE once had has been dismantled. There's almost nothing stopping them from taking B.
Yeah, Snappi is in hot water here. He's going to have support from Diha, who just gets to the market in time, but he's been spotted and seen and dealt with by sjuush. Out of the van, it's Snappi's P250 and Pius on this MP7 trying to make magic happen. They've spotted Snappi, but Yabby's not able to deal with him. Getting whittled down, death by 1,000 cuts. Snappi's able to elude capture for just a moment, and that lets Nerds slip out. through the market. Now he's in the site with them, and they've got no idea. He is right here, but CSGO will sniff him out. And so Heroic navigate through that stack. It starts with just Snappi there, but the reinforcements kept flowing through the market. And every time Heroic cut them down, the 4-spy wars look to come to a close. And it's Heroic who emerge the victors. This is an early start in the right direction, an early step in the right direction for Heroic.
Just incredible how they can recover it, given that ENCE do to them what they've been doing to ENCE all series, in finding that first force buy. And Heroic are now still sitting 3-2 and soon to be 4, with only USPs on the other side. Easy enough to break into A, minimize casualties, let the high health players take the brunt, and they will. A left, right, and a good night for ENCE on the eco. Not a kill to take, and I love how Heroic prioritize who peaks there. As each of them get dinked, they swap with a player to their side, and 4 players leave sub 50 health, but not a single casualty. Nothing to write home about for ENCE. And even 1 kill on those kind of rounds do make all the difference, right? It's an extra bit of utility. For Sunpius, it would be armor with his AWP in this one. He's just glass into the first full buy round of this map on number 7.
Oh, he's on the angle at the right time. They're double over in the palace. That's only a tag. Sjuush.
Wow.
Wearing an extra set of armor, it just clips through the wall over in Palace, and so it's not that early 5v4. The AWP, now known about, that's going to force Sunpius to reposition. He takes the market, trading places with Snappi.
What's this call? Are they bringing him back? cadiaN's looking to his side while he's tucked in the corner. Calling all of Heroic on a spawn reset, leaving sjuush to sell this very late fake. And it's just Sunpius, even though he should be good to nail the shot on B, he's only one man, and one unarmored one as well. Mid-util comes through. There's still a lot of eyes on mid here for ENCE, but as I say that, Snappi rotates back out to B, reinforcing the AWP. Diha's going to hear this coming up catwalk at least. That will be the first warning on this very late B hit.
Oh, that was dead on. He holds for that exact peak. And even though cadiaN gives it to him, Sunpius does not react fast enough. Now the rest of Heroic is siphoned out of the round. Nice. Slowly but surely. Snappi moves in. And he does strike while the iron's hot here. It's just Yabi left standing on the B play. The bomb now away from them. And even though Stown has got this flank, it's considered, it's held. And ENCE will adjust to that nicely. Heroic try to get tricky with some of these lurks in the mid-round. And everything is considered. Even though they lose Sunpius, accomplishing nothing in the sight hold. It's Snappi who moves in. The rotates flow like water for ENCE.
Yeah, they're still very split, our Heroic, right? It's still a man back in the palace, layered in middle, only 2 coming out of apartments. All over the place. And ENCE are able to pick them off one by one. Oh my, cadiaN, that's a pace. Great grenade from ENCE. Look at the red. Everyone gets blown to bits in middle. And even though Heroic realized they have a gap, they have an opportunity, ENCE started dropping out of window into middle. They try and move out the ramp. They get denied by the AWP, waiting for that exact reaction. Sunpius 1 step ahead. And now Heroic have to rely on a 2-smoke execute.
I feel like a lot of this is going to come down to whether or not cadiaN can open up down some of these long sight lines with the AWP. He's going to have the duel versus Sunpius if he wants it. The flash goes out now for him to try and take the angle, and Stown beats cadiaN to the punch. Not the man who was supposed to get it, but you take it nonetheless. And Maden was tagged from that AWP at the ramp. says burnt to a crisp over in Palace. They lose one of these prongs, but the rest of Heroic try to flood in. They managed to gain a little bit of leverage over the site here, but that bomb crossing is still tenuous at best. No smoke down over towards jungle, gives Diha open sight lines. And Snappi takes up position at the spawn. One smoke out. That's to plant the bomb in. That's to facilitate this bomb plant. And cadiaN just has to hold this angle deep down towards the spawn as his teammate plants. He can't afford to miss here. Takes a swing and leaves spawn open. They make that oh so easy for Snappi.
That's so cheeky for Snappi. He doesn't swing off of the tap, so cadiaN just thinks there's no one spawned. They're all coming from the same side, and he tries to jump up, beat the timing on top of his teammate to kill the players in jungle while he has that smoke acting like a one-way. But then Snappi swings out a second after the plant, right when Heroic are discounting it. Great hold for ENCE. Even though Heroic feign a mid-take late in that round by throwing a window smoke from T-spawn and then contact into A, they get the entry, they get nothing more.
I know, coming into this series, this is one where both the captains of these teams have had pretty strugglesome times on either map, but here on the third, they both sit top of their respective teams. Two IGLs who often get compared to one another, really playing their hearts out here in the third. Snappi holds the line over towards B. He's still a threat at the van, and his teammates move in to lend a helping hand.
Wow.
B is off limits. Another one of these fast plays that Heroic look to bring to the field, locked out by ENCE.
Snappi's just giving us a monstrous game right now, fighting tooth and nail for his first time in the Lanxess. He wants to go right to the semis, and he is 13-5. Incredible hold. Back from CT last round, and here at the B site now against the Eco from Heroic. These can certainly get out of control. Snappi does not allow that to happen. And ENCE take the lead right back. Given how this game started, they've gotten in very early on this CT side. Heroic risked it all with double force buys to take their 4-1 lead, or 4-2 rather. Don't wait long, amassing a streak of their own and drawing Heroic's money into question. They will have to buy here, but players around 4,200. You're going to have the bare minimum allowed for a 4-buy. No AWP, barely more than smoke, flash.
And so one of the things, you know, we teed up and we talked about earlier on in this series was how it was relieving to see Stown looking like a star, right? Looking sick on Nuke, admittedly hitting a bit of a brick wall towards the end, but then really finding his footing on Overpass and being a big-time player. But it's as we get into the third, as the pressure is really on, Stown, the guy who has been topping the charts for Heroic, sits down bottom of the board. That old problem of when the pressure's at its highest and he starts to crumble, rears its head again.
And on the flip, Nertz has had no problem, even if he was quieter at the start of this series. He's now putting on one of those superstar performances that we know he can, that he did in his debut back at Pro League on ENCE's playoff run. This is weird though. Yabby swapped in the smoke with the aforementioned man. He can go over the stairs. His team, however, has been picked apart, and he can't even close that kill onto the AWP. Disastrous round for Heroic, and ENCE know it. 6-4, they lock it out.
And that's a round that just sucks the wind out of your sails if you're Heroic. You know, they try to run a nice split up through the connector. They get some of the space that they're looking for as well, but everyone's returned to dust, and the few opportunities you had, they get away from you without you even making a dent. A flawless round on the board for the ENCE squad this late in the game. ENCE are now established on the CT side. Heroic are going to have to break through buy after buy if they want to make something of this half. So the job gets a lot harder now for the Danes.
When has it ever been easy for Heroic? They have to make their own luck here. Deagles, Tech9. ENCE happy to face him in mid here. We have a nice double short setup. Nertz playing the con smoke, looking down under. And Heroic is stoic behind the boxes, but they're lining up some util. And now Snappi gets that.
He sees
info.
that,
That's a big nade already, you know it. lights him up again. The util damage has been incredible for ENCE in these last few CT rounds. Makes their job a lot easier. Heroic have won a round though, just flying up Con. Gonna try and do it again.
Nerds hears all of this. Oh, up on his head. They will deal with Nerds as the point man over at Con, but it's maden under Palace. Really looking to drive home his royal stature within this team. 3 kills from the man, and cadiaN, dead man walking in middle as him and Snappi clash. ENCE don't let the pistols in. It's so often for Heroic, they found ways to make those rounds costly at least. But across the last 3 rounds rather, we've had 13 out of a possible 15 players surviving for ENCE, so they are so built up.
Yeah, going to be a hard nut to crack here for Heroic. They're getting cheeky though. Full B rush. Yabby doesn't even buy an AK. He's just going for the speed with that Mac 10.
One man already in. Snappi back at the truck, but this time only 1 kill from him on the anchor. It's going to fall down the line to Diha. Has them trapped over in the apartments. Didn't need to go swinging, but he wanted to fight with his teammate Nerds on the rotate. Instead, they both give Heroic a kill, and suddenly a chance in the round. This is wild. Heroic look to go and fight for middle. They're trying to take that bomb out of the B site around the world and now play it late into A.
And cadiaN can just stay here because as long as you get this open bomb plant, he has the perfect post-plant position. Sunpius is confused. Where have they gotten to? He backs up through short and cadiaN repositions for this cross. There should be no way he's ready for this. And Heroic steal it right back with the B rush. You called it. The dangerous swing for Diha as his teammates are getting out market to play with him. If he just doesn't move, Heroic are in trouble. They wait patiently in the apartments for the players to come to them. And right when you think they're in control of the round in a 4-on-2, ENCE feed Heroic a couple of kills as they slow down, and they make the perfect mid-round move. Love that heads-up play for cadiaN, sending the bomb straight into the A site.
With the timeout, you're probably not happy with how quickly that one got away from you. You know, it went from looking like another one of these guaranteed rounds where they repel the B offensive, where they remove that from Heroic's playbook, and it gets away from them. So a time to look to the future for ENCE. Time to plan ahead. Stop Heroic from streaking these rounds together. Already touched upon how it's going to be a real uphill battle for Heroic every step of the way because of how set up ENCE are. Snappi's played at the van in every one of these B rounds. This time he's trying to keep it a little fresh. They finally uprooted him last time. He's lost short. He's feeling very trapped in at the back of the site. And so Nerds moves around to reinforce with him. Sunpius has dealt with the mid component here. And Nerds rings out from the bench. Now that they found Snappi, cadiaN sees the barrel sticking through. And he uses that to cut through this B site. Another from cadiaN's AWP. And he's seen Sunpius. They're about to clash here. It's 1v1 made. And Sunpius is getting tricky with it. Looks to leave the market. Trying to reposition, trying to keep cadiaN guessing, just akin to how cadiaN pulled the wool over his eyes in the last round. Sunpius now tries to do it straight back. With enough silence from the market, cadiaN considers the short wrap round. He asks himself, what would we do in this situation? And so he tries to get in the head of Sunpius. He has read this well. He has opened a market. He no longer believes that that's where Sunpius is coming from. cadiaN knows, and as this smoke goes in, he sees an invitation to play around it. Closing the net. Sunpius doesn't have time. Sunpius writes this one off. You never see 1v1s where he just straight up doesn't give it a go. And Heroic almost can't believe it. He just concedes. cadiaN wins that one, not with brawn, but with brain power. just avoids the contact long enough that sjuush had no choice but to give that round over.
It's so glamorous. It's like the chess play from cadiaN. He sees the barrel through the bench. I can't believe that. But the repositions, the timings that he clears market so late, but just late enough that he can't get backstabbed, that he doesn't need to swing.
And there was just an orchestra of Danes yelling out all at once. When they knew he wasn't attempting the 1v1, there's no better feeling to feel like you removed every option from your opponent, that in such a winnable round, a round as winnable as that, you got them not even attempting it.
Yeah.
That's a victory that you don't often get in Counter-Strike.
I mean, it's desperate for sjuush, right? Even the fact that he's making that rotation, his team just get flattened in the B bomb site. He had one shot as cadiaN crossed back from the right pillar and he missed it. At that point, you're doubting yourself. You know he's got the info. With the bomb in his favor as well, everything is coming up heroic there. And they're looking to steal this winning half right at the bitter end. On the bright side, sjuush saved his AWP, but this shell that ENCE built up with these 13 out of 15 alive rounds, it's now coming to a close. If they don't win this round, they're eco for 15. sjuush has to be the savior after that AWP save. Look at the space Heroic have gained in this round. They've got CT spawn, they've got jungle for crying out loud, and they've got re-smokes to boot. My oh my, ENCE are in trouble for what will be a very tricky retake. The bomb's still not crossed that ramp though. It's on cadiaN's back, so it will come down to kills, and Heroic will provide. sjuush survives for one more fight. 3-on-3 now, and cadiaN starts to get out of his cave. But which way?
I mean, they want to get weird with it. I think at this point you can kind of feel how you've got ENCE doubting everything, and cadiaN is just checking for a flank that we can see is never going to arrive.
And the lull in the action has made Snappi try and read into it. I like that Snappi's playing active here. He's going to confirm that, okay, I made this long rotate, but it isn't B after all. And if cadiaN takes too long, Snappi will still have good timing on a T-spawn flank, but he will need to run sooner enough.
Util serves to complicate matters. ENCE can try crossing behind that.
Yeah.
That makes cadiaN feel uneasy here, and maden will walk the smoke, but Tessez holds it. Now you've got to lend a bit of time to Snappi. They know about him on the wrap round up through middle, and they've got him boxed into this fight on sjuush at connector. Snappi dead. It's just sjuush. Didn't attempt the 1v1. Is there any hope for him in this 1v2? Flash goes out, and sjuush has got to run away. It knocks him off the angle, which cadiaN now owns, and even though he's floating around, this is not a round meant for sjuush. Just like over at the B site, he's having flashbacks, and cadiaN will fall, but so will sjuush. Heroic tie this game up, and they know with how these last few rounds have gone, they've got ENCE in their heads. That's back-to-back clutches that sjuush can't even attempt.
Yeah, he's got to be feeling so flustered right now in this map with the way Heroic is shutting him out in the last couple of clutches, and to not even be allowed to save the AWP. You know, what did you save it for in the first 1v1, right? Now you're going into round 15, and ENCE have barely got to buy 2 M4s. sjuush snuffed out, Heroic in your heads, and they're screaming down the hall as well. Double entry into middle. ENCE. It's slipping through the cracks right at the end of their CT side.
He's going to get this one for free. Ooh, wasn't as clean as he would have liked, but still good for it. This re-smoking window is huge. Diho was really hoping he could have manipulated that gap, used that to provide some sort of opportunity to his team. Instead, it's going to have to fall to maden. MP9 up close, just one kill from the man. And even though Diha tries to get ahead of this by repositioning early, it's going to leave him high and dry, away from Heroic's true intention in the round. He comes back. But the timing can't be made up. There's another gap for him to look to exploit, but that's ugly from Diha. There was definitely a chance there. Snappi sits top of the board for ENCE, but a 1v3 is asking far too much. And so Heroic might have been on the uphill battle the entire damn time. But they managed to win out this first half.
What is your calling?
A series that has flowed in either direction. ENCE with a strong opening map on their pick of Nuke, and Heroic stealing away at Overpass in dominant fashion. Now splits us right down the middle at the end of the first half. Mirage is miraculous, full of clutches, full of screams, and full of playoff players as Heroic and ENCE vie for a semi-final spot in the Lanxess. Skip a whole stage, skip a whole day, but only one will make it that far.
And as the chapters of CSGO come to a close, it's the last chance to really leave an impression and guarantee yourself that top 4 placing. On Cologne on the back of the semi-final berth that it grants you. ENCE T-side now. And they make a bit of noise over towards the apartments, but cadiaN might uproot everything. Spots some Pius as he tries to leave the apartments. And so this is going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works for ENCE.
Yeah, if Snappi can call as well as he can kill, then we're in for a treat on this T side, because he's been playing some incredible CS on this third and final map. But he still needs his stars to shine bright on a T half. Up under after a fake towards B. And Heroic playing full retake, but with no kit, you'll note. They've given it up from CT spawn, and Yabi felt like he needed to thin the herd coming into the A side. He won't be able to. He'll pay the brutal price of his life. Bomb getting planted. This should just be impossible for Heroic. Look at their positions. They are locked out of the site. Stown does start things off on the right foot. And maybe Heroic can sneak in at the last second.
Nice flick from Diha in the connector to win his engagement, and now he becomes a real swing player in the round, but dead immediately. That's over in Palace. He's got to buy Snappi a bit of time. He's working with small margins here, but Snappi taps out that first man. Now they try to get back on the bomb, and Snappi lines them up. He sets it all up for Nerds to win. sjuush has tapped it, and sure, he's going to win the fight, but with no kit, there's no time as Snappi signs, seals, and delivers a pistol round to ENCE. Huge work from the captain of this ENCE squad. It was his team getting it done on that opening map, and now, come the third, they look down the line and they see the veteran of Snappi firing on all cylinders to bring them back in to semi-final contention here with that pistol round.
Yeah, and what a veteran, right? You know, over 10 years of LAN experience, no trophies to his name till Dallas at the end of last season, and man, he is doing it individually here for ENCE when they need it the most. Making his first playoff appearance at Cologne. All these ENCE pieces peaking at the right time. But if there's been one consistency of this series, it's been forced buys in second round. Heroic, they've offered even more than ENCE in that department, so CT side buy up. ENCE have to be very cautious. Back on Overpass, they rushed a monster smoke. They paid the price. This one will be more slow, more calculated. Still got 2 players towards A, but with no smokes on either of them. This will be a weird fake. Gonna try and sell this towards the A side. TeSeS alone at B right now. maden about to meet his maker.
Oh. Bait and switch over towards ramp. Sees this fake over towards the A side of the map get dismantled, and TeSeS wins a fight in B, complicating matters. Even though Snappi moves in with the trade, it's time for Heroic to siphon players around. They want to take these fights while they've got them, while they only have a handful of ENCE players here to worry about. Snappi is spammed down and finished off. Diha's trying to buy time, but Stown will delete him, and with that, the force buy is one for Heroic. Huge from TeSeS to even open that up, to even throw that much chaos into the round. And his team is so quick at moving in, so decisive that they want to fight for that B site there and then. Heroic and cadiaN know that ENCE did not have everyone over towards B.
They're just the scariest rounds, right? Heroic playing like they have absolutely nothing to lose. The jumps through market, as you say, the hunting of those two ENCE players in the B bomb site. Heroic hound them down. That is a disaster for ENCE, but it is not the first. It's all about how you recover from those kind of rounds. And Heroic continue to bring the heat and the pace straight up top mid. Yabi, faced by 4 players, does get bullied. So ENCE at least start things off on the right foot. Heroic want revenge. They have everyone here, even needing the gun out. Didn't move though. But even so, they're not keeping eyes on it. Heroic going back to this B stack. And hey, we might have the back and forth beginning of this half once again, as ENCE seem to have made the right read. Unless Down goes superstar mode and shuts down the entirety of ENCE here on this offense.
And if this was earlier in the series, you would have faith in him to do that. Ooh. The nade is nice.
It's info.
Lets him know that there are players moving up ramp. Snappi not often separated from this team. He does like to be in with the pack, and so that's going to influence how Heroic look to move around here. They pull everyone over towards A. They still haven't seen anything yet, but Tesses and Stown are both swinging, both fighting, and they've got Nerds boxed into a corner. maden with one off the deagle, and Sumpire so far away. We saw him putting clutches. We saw him not even get to attempt these rounds. With 20 seconds now, he's got to cook up the answer. And he is jittery, firing off early. Now they know where he is, and that element of surprise is gone. I really do think that Heroic have got Sumpire doubting himself in these clutch moments with how a few of these key rounds earlier in the game went.
Yeah, and I love what Heroic do there. After Stown gets that nade kill, right, it's, as you said, the information that ENCE have an A attack, and Heroic who've gamble stacked B with 3 players immediately rotate, but they don't just rotate, they stay active. They push up on A, they kill the bomb, they aggress towards ENCE with a better weaponry, and that ruins Sumpire's timing. So of course he has another impossible to win round. His whole team are dead by the time he's in position. They're supposed to still be fighting for it. They'd have a chance. And Sumpire's getting chased as well. It is a rough day for him. Winter is coming. And this round is one of little interest for ENCE.
It probably feels a little bit now like Snappi's getting a taste of this feeling that the cadiaNs had multiple times in playoff runs for Heroic, which is, you know, the idea of you as the veteran, as the real experienced voice, you're feeling a tremendous amount of pressure to have to do the job yourself. You're the only one you can trust here. And don't get me wrong, it's been fantastic to see Snappi playing like this, but he is not supposed to be the guy topping the charts for ENCE. He is not supposed to be the one up at the top of the board. That is normally a privilege that goes the way of someone like Sumpire, or goes the way of a Nerds.
Yeah, and what we've had, you know, ENCE screaming along. Think of maden's energy he brought into the first map. Him and Nerds having great fun with the back and forth, and now it's just cadiaN. That's all you hear. Danish shouts. And ENCE have nothing to cheer about right now in this T side. They want the pistol, that is it. Heroic have carpet bombed them ever since. And ENCE with their 3rd timeout, their first buy round. No open play for either team. ENCE must start strong or Heroic will snipe this semi-spot.
Oh, they want to go for something a lot faster, a lot pacier. far more simple as well, and maybe the beauty is in finding a simple solution to a complex problem here for Snappi. Diha opens, they nearly line up for sjuush. Nerds is able to keep this in ENCE's advantage, and now that bomb goes down. Nothing crazy, nothing convoluted about this one, just a bit of pace behind the A play, and ENCE have found a way in. Now they've just got to withstand the first few seconds of this retake, and they should have done enough. Yabi pressuring, brings Heroic back into the round. Nerds is getting spammed, and suddenly he's the last man standing. He's got to do it all. They're low, Nerds with one. Oh, and the double. Nerds is trying to make it happen. There he is!
Wow.
Up on the screen, it's Nerds nailing Heroic to a post. He makes it happen, and he keeps ENCE in the game. We were questioning who would have been the star to step up alongside Snappi, and Nerd shows he's got what it takes.
Yeah, there's a reason he's here. There's a reason ENCE plucked him into this roster with big boots to fill. The Israeli talent performs when ENCE need him most, right when they're ready to give up, right when Heroic are starting to run away with a series. And Nerds finishes the job that his entire team started. 3 players in the red. ENCE, with confidence now, starts sprinting out on the A side, looking to respond swiftly. There's still M4s in play, and they start spamming. They start picking players out. ENCE get a very early plant. The Heroic have an advantage. Not like that's helped them before. Yeah, but if he spams, there's surely a kill here. 2 players on the other side of Ticket.
Oh, this is not what you want. This is terrifying. The spam comes through. Now maybe they discount Nerds. They have got no idea. They just got a kill here. Some Pius has been the ultimate bait, but Nerds brings the trap down. Oh, Nerds! Have you ever seen anything like it? There is no reacting to that one there. And if you're cadiaN, you're just going to take that on the chin. That is madness.
Yeah, waves him down. Sit back down, cadiaN. This series is not over yet. Unbelievable spray. What is it with Israeli players in the Ticket position? We saw Flames do it back in Rio. Nerds adds 1 to the tally.
That was just... I'm lost for words, which is not a good thing to have, but I am. That is madness. He gets triple peaked. First from CT, then top Ticket, then connector, and he makes it look like the game's on rails. And so yeah, ENCE a couple of rounds ago, it felt like doom and gloom. It felt like this could be over. It was only Snappi delivering. But now, when the pressure's on, when it really matters, Nerds has morphed into a diamond for this ENCE squad. And this push in the last few rounds has turned the tide, and ENCE are competitive again.
And now it all goes quiet. Not just from the players, but in the server as well. Everyone breathes. And ENCE let Heroic stew in it. cadiaN, king of the tilt, playing as Zeus in this round, doing anything he can to keep ENCE in their heads. But right now, Snappi is in yours. He is flanking the entire spawn, going for this B play. Even though A is full open, yes, Ramp and Palace are options, but still, Snappi wants all the glory for this MAC-10. Mop up these kills. They're coming to ENCE. Heroic playing aggressive, getting picked apart, and everyone survives for ENCE. It really is a different game. Back-to-back maulings for Nerds. And now Heroic have to dig deeper than they have all series.
I really cannot explain just how much impact these couple of rounds from this guy might have had. You know, that looks like something from an old frag movie of old, right? Like, we're talking a legacy clip there from Nerds, and those sorts of rounds don't come along often. But when they do, you all feel how they change the game. Heroic are calling in this timeout, not just because they know they need solutions, but that the team have got to get ball back on side. That is a play that will go down in infamy, and it might be the play that breaks Heroic in this series, as good as they've looked. And in spite of the heights that have been hit, and how they've recovered across this series, it might all be for nothing.
Yeah,
they come in with this buy now, but they're up against it. Their backs are against the wall, and suddenly they don't feel like they're in the driver's seat anymore.
Yeah, this is not every day that Heroic's mental gets tested in a group stage game, right? This is their repertoire. This is where they do their best work. The unbeatables. One group game lost all year. Snappi finds Yabby. He saw his feet out under and goes hunting. Still a player on the other side of that Molotov, so Stow might be able to catch some swift revenge as Snappi comes out from below. He just jumps and chases that kill on the reload. Stow even sees maden out top mid. ENCE very split right now, and Heroic will take full advantage of that. A swing through comp perhaps. maden getting closer. Gap in the smoke. He looks to play around it, maybe play through it. Team grouping back at the ramp side. Strong on AR Heroic. This orb back in CT. And we may have that head-to-head. Can cadiaN keep his up?
This is the hot button topic, right? This is the guy you got to try and remove, and cadiaN's got him in his crosshair right here, but flashed out, Nerds will cross. Diha dead, Stow makes a play. He can't quite win it out over maden, so now Connector becomes a problem. Some Pious caught over at the ramp, but Nerds feeling it, feeling himself, survives the tag from the AWP. Committing to the plant is crazy, but it's given him the win conditions to the round here. He's able to back out and play around it, and it takes Tesses developing the courage, the gall to swing him, to put a stop to that 1v2. So they successfully shut down Nerds. They put a stop to his antics in the 1v3. If he gets back to ramp there, if Heroic doubt themselves for even a second, that can be a whole different round.
Having Stow start to make a lot of hero plays. He's pushed this smoke a couple of times or found spams through it on these A attacks. He's had enough as well. Heroic full of gumption. And they're even pulling out the double AWP. Out of nowhere. Line shots through smoke. We've got ENCE leaning B very early on in this round. Sampires desperately looking for a mid pick, and he might find it. cadiaN, or Stow rather, is not far off. Double orb on A. If ENCE just explode into this one-man B hold right now, Heroic might be forced to save. Not just the money, but the weaponry as well is a big problem. Tesses, ooh, playing with fire. Trying to hear tags. Yabby does find Diha down under, and now ENCE are going to have to go.
Tesses, they've crept underneath his crosshair here. They're a little deeper. No, will go unchecked for the first. maden falls. It's traded out by our hero of the hour, the man of the hour. Nerds keeps it even. cadiaN and Stow, double AWP back in the market. They're kind of hinging on getting the fights here, getting peaked. You want ENCE to be fighting you. It's the best way to get the orbs activated. They're going to struggle to get super involved here, and so sjuush is feeling a lot of the pressure to be that linchpin, to be the guy that holds the round together for Heroic as he makes a play out through market. Stow misses his opportunity, trying to get involved from the other side, and Heroic have got to write this one off. A missed shot for cadiaN, not even saving the AWPs is guaranteed. Snappi's at 1 point of health, and some Pious knocks out the AWP. So they go into the round with a double AWP setup, and they get out with neither of them in a round that they don't even attempt.
Yeah, that was cadiaN really trying to play the mind games. He goes for the ladder jump, breaks the window, goes back to market, but doesn't even commit with Stow with that double AWP retake. It's rough. Don't get me wrong, Heroic don't have position to make that play happen with the Apps flank finding nothing. But then he can't even save. That's a feel-good moment for some Pious, who's been getting iced out by cadiaN, both in and out of the server. So Heroic pinch their pennies, rub them together, and produce this buy. Oh dear! Back again.
I mean, this is the sort of, inspiring effect that a couple of big performances can have, right? When you're some Pious and you're looking down the line, sure, at first you were thinking about how you got iced out in some of these rounds, how you've really struggled to get the ball rolling. But when you see Nertz and Snappi doing all of this, it pushes you to try harder, to do more. He's delivered the man advantage to open this one up. But that's where the hero rifle round for Heroic always has a funny way of throwing a bit of chaos into the mix. ENCE are going to group.
Smoke timing isn't the end of the world for ENCE. They're sneaking through Palace anyway. By the time they get here, it'll be past half. Snappi on a late lurk out under, and Stown is his first fight. Favouring Snappi a lot. That's a dangerous push for sjuush, and he will get punished for it. Stown can do nothing. That obviously posted on jungle. Good shot for Stown, but there's the backstab, and as it comes through, Sampaius helps out. 3-on-2. Stop the plant or lose the round, it feels like. There's no kit right now. And as maden puts in the numbers, Yabi has to go up and over. What a flick! And Sampaius is coming alive right now. 3 shots off in that round. Back-to-back picks over cadiaN, denying the AWP save and that underplay in this one. Just when you're ready to write them off, Nertz has re-inspired ENCE, reinvigorated this roster. And Heroic are down in the dumps with no money. 2K a player.
You know, when you're Heroic here, you feel your dominion over the hearts and minds of ENCE has slipped away from you. Yeah. Early on, you had Sampaius doubting himself. You had the rest of the gang looking quiet. It was taking the veteran of Snappi to have to brush that off and carve a path back into this third map for ENCE. But now he's got a supporting cast around him. Now they are believing more than they've ever believed in this series. Tessa's back of the site, but can't find a thing. And as cadiaN spam down, these smokes are not safe. The flank is locked out by Sampaius on the AWP. There is no leverage to be found in this round for Heroic. And even going hunting for this final pistol, not risks that Sampaius has to take, but it's about sending a message. ENCE move towards match point. It's them in the driver's seat. They can feel how this game has changed. And so the onus is on Heroic, who once in this series already have had to dig deep and dust themselves up to build into that second map. Well, now they've got to do it all over again. Do they have anything left in the tank?
A comeback team, a question that is often answered with yes. But right now, ENCE are putting them to the test on this T side. And Snappi, what an unbelievable lead he's had as the captain. The one guy putting up numbers in the first half, saving ENCE on these B hits. Winning rounds out from CT spawn retakes. It felt like no one was ready to step up to the plate with him. Nertz delivered and everyone else woke up. And Heroic call out their final timeout.
You've often seen and felt the impact of these timeouts, but this is the last one for Heroic. They're not going to have Exist chiming in for the remainder of this map now. And so this limited moment of clarity, it's got to be the salvation for Heroic. If they don't win this round, if they don't pick it up on the back of the timeout, on the back of this 30-second time period to just collect themselves, they are done. "51 kills on Snappi and Nertz combined. And they're going to have more to do before it's all said and done. But look at the confidence Nertz is playing with. Fast into ladder. Yabi's going to check for this, and he gets Nertz with his back turn. That's how you want to face him. Snappi dead. That's the 2 top performers, both out of the round right away. Heroic are breathing easy for a moment.
A sigh of relief. You feel like the harder job is done. You feel like you just have to push this over the line. Make this a 30-round game. Pull one of those late activations that Heroic are known for. Yabi's got to be careful. The AWP is right here, but it's the Julies that do it for Sampaius. Rotation out for cadiaN. That's at the wrong time. ENCE grouping behind the ramp smoke. This could be a 3-on-5 to a 3-on-3 very quickly. No. And Sampaius is providing. sjuush again plays the fade, but it favors him this time. Sampaius in the hot seat. And it should be a clutch too far.
Yeah, I mean, they got this guy to stop believing in his clutches so early on in this third map. They got him doubting every move he made, and even though he's gone on a resurgence since the heroics of NERTZ, since Snappi did all he could to keep him in it, expecting this round to go his way, it should be wishful thinking, but some pious. Is that inspiration going to be enough to drive him forward? He's making his way around towards the ramp side, and he's got a 1v1 here. If he finds down, the world's his oyster, but is he ready for the aggro position? Oh! Some pious! One more to find! Bomb's retrievable. CSGO is a long way away, flanking all the way through spawn, and some pious. They did not have this man believing in his ability to win a 1v1. It's whether or not he's ready for the wrap round, and CSGO puts a stop to it. That is a damn good try from some pious. He almost had heroic head in their hands, feeling like they got robbed.
So stressful for heroic. Can you imagine how that feels as you're watching your team get picked apart in 1v1s? Thank goodness Tessa saves them right at the end. But some pious. Phenomenal attempt.
Just think about how they had him doubting his moves in the 1v1 and the 1v2 so much he wouldn't even try it. But a 1v5, he throws his hat in the ring and he comes so close. But close doesn't cut it here.
Either way, if you want to try and think positively for ENCE, it's done great economy damage. They couldn't save the orbitals, drop back in T-spawn. It's still a bit of a nightmare mode for heroic. They're still playing it hard mode. They cannot get comfortable yet. ENCE can still take a 2-for-1, essentially, off of winning another rifle round. Some pious, you know he's got his big green back. Looking for a second semi-final in the Lanxess. Would not be his first time.
If you're ENCE right now, you know, you tell some pious that was a damn good try, and you relish in the opportunity that he has delivered to you nonetheless. Heroic, up against this terrifying scoreline of 13-14, where it feels like you're so nearly in this game, you're so nearly back in it. They've got limitations in this round, and they're all in. MP9's in play, not the full util, only a handful of kits. All of this could come to matter. And it was all teed up by some pious in that previous round. But he is the first to fall here. NERTZ at ramp, caught by cadiaN. And so piece by piece, the stars die out for ENCE. It's all in vain if heroic tie this game up and they keep this round looking this clean.
Yeah, well, the last 3-on-5 did not end clean for heroic, so ENCE will still give it a try. Snappi gets that spot in the window. But they are scared of everything, every flank, every possibility, watching their backs. And heroic, of course, grouped in their double setups, as they often do. Full apartments control. And that's the big ticket, because the bomb is alone right now for ENCE. Unless Snappi's going to back up or maden's going to walk down, he just gets dropped to the ground, and that's a bomb loose. In a 5-on-2 at 40 seconds, they simply don't have position to win this round, nor the clock to back them up. Nothing going for ENCE here. Heroic finding 14 and finding it cleanly. Diha nowhere to be seen, needs this save. And heroic might have all 5 kills in just a moment. Tessas gets that spot, and Diha's on the run.
Oh, this is a wild match. This is a wild feeling that heroic are feeling right now. To have been brought to your knees by a couple of individuals, only to reply with a round as clean as that one, when they really demanded a clean round, something to get rid of these worries of the money. It's the last thing you want to be thinking about this deep into the game. And this at least gives them that bit of staying power, that chance where even if they hit the worst case scenario, there are backup plans. There is still chances for heroic.
Yeah, and it's, again, we go back to how deep this talent pool goes in heroic. Even though it's Stown, the superstar in this series, the first 2 maps, he may have gone quiet in Mirage, but heroic have been able to rely on other players in this pack. Tess's up top of the board, sjuush with phenomenal impact on that A anchor. And so heroic able to rely on every member of the Brotherhood. 29 rounds, map 3. And ENCE are going to take it back to a classic. Delayed B pop. Tessus has his molly primed. He's listening for nades, he's listening for steps, and they're all about to come through.
Tessus could get caught with util out, changes to the gun just in time, and he exerts his dominion over the apartments, does not let ENCE break through. This B site is locked down by Tessus, sitting up top of the board. He's allowed to get out on the reload, chased down by Nerds. That's going to give them a route to a plant here. That nade could be big. maden just eludes it. And so for a moment, ENCE are given a tiny bit of breathing room here, a chance to plant that bomb, a chance to pick their post plants, but maden is sniped down the line. Sunpius and Nerds are the ones left in it. They give Sunpius that kill in the market. How much more does Sunpius have to offer? He's in with 2. And when you see you got Nerds left alongside you, ENCE, they do not feel worried. They know that they've still got a chance in this round. Sunpius has picked and chose his battles perfectly here, and he's not stopping. Just down left, and Nerds runs them down. They'll combine to put ENCE back in pole position, 1 round away from a semi-final spot in IEM Cologne.
And while Sunpius attempting saves before, Stown couldn't even get back out of window. He tries to leave in that 1v2. He knows he's too far gone. And they chase him right down at the end. This recovery of Sunpius and Nerds has been outstanding for ENCE. And this is what it's all for. Semi-final points, playoff points here for ENCE. They've kept it simple on this T side. They're going back for another ramp pop. They reset. Back to mid. Heroic burning almost every bit of utility. And when the round has barely begun, they show so many hands on A, only to regroup back to what just worked. These 3-on-5s have been immaculate for ENCE in this game. Tessus playing a dangerous one. Jump spotting on B. Heroic have made this read, though. A very powerful gamble in the 30th round. 3 players pushed over. Stown on a huge flank, and considering they don't have a kit, they need this read.
Quick work made of the first man in, but now it's kept even. sjuush runs out of ammo. He's going to get chased down here. Tessus has to do it, and Dia finds him. It's starting to become unraveled. cadiaN doesn't want to play too soon. He's giving room to Stown, but no room from Sunpius. And just cadiaN, as his team watch on, this opportunity set to be robbed away by the high highs that this ENCE squad have hit on the 3rd map. Snappi trying to run his Cinderella story akin to Carrigan in Antwerp, and at 33 years old, he heads to the Langsness for the first time all the way into the semis. A hand-picked team built in his image, and it feels like something's in the